What's going on, everybody? The RedSon lives, and I was originally recording a different video that was going to be about the same shit, but I feel like my camera fucked up, so I had to restart it, and it kept stuttering, and I don't know how the quality on this one is going to turn out. So, let's see where this goes. Let's see if this one actually works out. Oh, it's going to be about the same shit, so let's see if I can start over again with at least a little bit of a straight line of where I wanted it to go. So, now that I'm doing these one topic of video things, I wanted to do something where I could just call this what I learned in school week. I can take 3 days and then just dedicate 3 videos and dedicate each video to making something that to talking about something that I learned in school. Nothing that the teachers taught me, but something that I learned as a person in school. Because I know a lot of people go into school, and I know a lot of people don't give a shit about this. But as you walk in, if you go into the high school for the first time, there's immediately something different, and I feel like a lot of people need to know that. Because what I learned, the first thing that I learned is that as soon as you walk in to a high school, you need to rethink what you're doing. Because I know there's a lot of jokes about it was all high school, but none of the musical. Well, all right, so just take it like this. In middle school, you're all being each other's friends because nothing that's going on really, you don't care about a lot of stuff. You're not adult enough to actually be a functioning human. But once you hit high school, you get the thought that you're a functioning human. I'm 20, what was it? It's, whatever. You get to be that part where you start thinking you know shit because you can actually retain memories now. You can actually retain a lot of information now, and you've gotten a little bit of a function on how you're supposed to act. But once you get into high school, everybody acts like I want to be the loudest so everybody will like me. Or at least that's how it starts. It's like, I'm loud, people will like me if they can hear what I have to say. It's what I learned number one. That's fucking annoying. Don't do it. If you're loud, people will immediately think I wanted it to be quiet today. Fuck you. And then you end up just quieting down a little bit. Eventually, once you hit the sophomore level, you'll be a lot quieter, but you'll still have that I'm in charge mentality. You're not in charge. It's high school. It's 4 years. Shut up. Just get through it. It's not as bad as ever. It's a horrible fucking thing that I feel like some children need to have once a week where they're able to talk to a counselor, mandatory. You have to get it off your chest about what you're talking about because the counselor, I feel needs to have a job there. But where I went, they didn't give a shit about what you felt. They were like, were you doing your work? No? Alright. Lower grades. Grades. Things that I learned. There are two faculty members that are always going to piss you off, no matter who they are. The vice principal, and most likely the English teacher. The vice principal is usually a fuckface who thinks he's in charge, but he's never in charge. He's annoying. He thinks he has more power than he is. He's probably been here an insanely long amount of time. So he thinks he has, yeah, I know how this school runs. No, you fucking don't. There's a reason why you don't see the same kid for 10 years in a row. Because he doesn't want to come back here. It's. They're always annoying. And English teachers, most of the time, have this weird liberal arts confidence. I remember hearing that term from a comedian, so if you want, whatever. Once you find that confidence where it's just as soon as they enter the room, you can immediately feel it dropping a little bit in temperature, and you're just oh, what the fuck is going on? Fuck you guys. Nice. And then they kind of walk over there and they have that little smile that's going on where it's just I just want to make sure everybody's doing their work. Oh, I see that you're not actually doing Your project over here. What's going on with you? Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you and take a step back. I'm trying. Leave me alone. Don't get near me. And that it's so irritating because they always think that no matter what they say, it's going to fix whatever you're doing. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't get what this is supposed to be about. Can you please explain it some more? Well, why weren't you paying attention? I was trying to. I got distracted. Can you please educate me on what I'm supposed to know? Well, you should have been paying attention. Are you the asshole who thinks I should be doing my job, or are you just gonna not do your job? Please explain what I'm supposed to need to know. Oh, and they're like, well, if you weren't paying attention, then why should I teach you anything? And they're most of the time the worst people that you can deal with because they don't want to explain what conjugate they don't want to explain half the shit that they're doing until you get to like that point where 90% of the grade is just your opinion because like they run out of ways to say what a verb or a noun is or an adjective, so they just start saying stuff like, well, this is what this author was trying to say. Isn't it considered a subjective form of art, so there's not a correct answer on whether or not it's about one thing or the other? Well, no, he was born in this time, so it must mean that. But who said he was making it on a topic of his time? This is what it's about, and don't backtalk me. And then you get into that like parent area where if you talk in any way, shape, or form, then you end up getting thrown out of the class because they can't. It's just yeah, they don't even form sentences when they're mad. Just no, this is over. You stand up right now. And then they fucking think that they're in charge. All English teachers have some sort of a god complex where they are nice and cheery until you piss them off, and then they use whatever power they don't have to try to force you into doing something. English teachers are like that a lot, and that's why I think English teachers and vice principals have that very similar mentality, where it's like, all right, you're going to be in ISS for a week. Eek. Says who? Says me. Who are you in charge? I have been working here for 20 years. I haven't been alive for 20 years. Is that significant? Should you have power that much? How did you earn that power? Who are you? Did you do anything that I should respect you enough for it? Because I'm just trying to get my grade and leave, man. I don't need any of this. I want to leave as much as you want me to leave. What's going on? Can I go home yet? It's very annoying to just deal with those teachers, those principals, those vice principals, the faculty members that think that they're in charge. Librarians are sons of bitches 90% of the time. Right, because they're stuck in their little world, they do something outside of their job, so now that they think they're in charge of 90% of what they do. My librarian didn't teach me shit about any of the libraries, any of the books that they had in there, and it never. I hated her. But that's for a different topic in a little bit. That's for a different topic, hopefully tomorrow, because all I wrote down for what I wanted tomorrow was just school week number 2 assholes. So I feel like that should be on that one. Next thing you probably need to know is that nobody gives a shit about you. Not a damn person is gonna look. If you show up dressed in a set of clothes that you normally don't wear, like I'm usually in a polo and a hoodie. I usually have a polo and a lower cut hoodie, so that shows off that I'm wearing a polo, just to give off that I'm in there. Oh, but I didn't have my hoodie, so I guess I'll just wear a polo and a long sleeve shirt over it. But what are they gonna think about me? What are they gonna think? No one fucking cares. If you wear high heels one day and then you don't the next day, no one gives a shit. The only thing they're gonna actually like care about is if you live in the South and you decide to wear something remotely feminine. And even then, you're gonna get something said to you like 3 times in that one day, and then you're not gonna hear much from it afterwards. Everybody's just going to be like, well, I can't change what they're going to do, so I guess I'll just move on with my day. I got to go figure this shit out. It's it takes a load off your shoulders when you realize these kids are out of their mind and scared 90% of the time. So they don't care. They don't want to be around you as much as you don't want to be around them. It's like the whole snake thing. You're more it's more scared of you than you are of it. Nobody wants to be around each other. That one guy who's having a great time in high school and he's friends with all the teachers, that guy's a fucking loser. Like, you're supposed to make friends with some of the teachers, but that's like if you have time off or you're like working at a project and he comes over, he's like, hey man, what's up? And you can say something along the lines of like, hey man, what's going on? Did you clear whatever you were doing before? How's everything going? Oh, and he's like, yeah. You're supposed to be like that level of friends, not the one where it's like you can yell out, hey bud, how's it go? Hey Mike, how's it going? It's Mr. Douglas. Douglas, no. All right, whatever you say, Mike. I'll just respect whatever you're doing. In the middle of fucking class. I've dealt with 4 people like that, and nobody likes them. They're the loudmouth people that feel like they want to be in charge, but once they're in charge, all they do is talk. They're the guys who usually say shit about like, yo, check out my SoundCloud. Which you don't think, you think it's more of a meme than it is anything else, but it's 100% true where I grew, where I was at school. It's so fuck annoying. Because all they did was the same thing over and over where they're trying to be friendly with somebody way louder than they should be. You're annoying. Please stop. We don't care about you. Now you sit down. The next thing you're gonna know, next thing you gotta know, how. Oh, it's on. These things fucking fogged up, and I can't see anything. Just be friends with some of the teachers, but don't be overly friendly, because nobody likes that guy. Like, figure out what you're supposed to look like, but don't care about what you're wearing. If you wear like the same set of shirts every day, wear the same set of shirts. If you have to wear a different set of shirt, don't panic because you don't have the same thing. Just, nobody cares. Nobody's going to look at you different. Nobody's going to care what you're wearing. Everybody's going to be like, oh, all right. And then they move on. If not that, then they won't look at you because they're probably hanging out with their friends. So be friends with teachers. Don't be as self-conscious as you think, but still like care about, like, make sure you're not wearing the same set of clothes 70 times in a row until it rots off your body. Just make sure that you look nice, and if somebody has a problem with it, don't give a shit. It's over. You're not going to deal with it. But on that note, I feel like there's one thing you're going to need to know. School makes you into an awful person. It doesn't like forge social skills. It forms how to dislike a person more than you should. You know what I did recently? When I was in high school, there was a friend of mine. Let's call him James. I know like 4 James, so even if I say his real name, it's not even going to be specific about him, and probably half of you don't know who he is. But think about it. That's his. That's what he's doing. He had a girlfriend. I don't know. He had a girlfriend, and I didn't like her the entire time I was there. I was mean to her. I would say shit, and I would get loud about it. And then I saw her again just a little bit ago. This was 4 years ago. I saw her working at a different place, and then she said hi to me. I couldn't remember who she was, and I finally figured out it was her. And then I remembered like all the shit that I said to her, and I started thinking like, all right, I guess I just don't like her. And I started thinking about it like, why don't I like her though? She's not dating him anymore. Is there anything I should be mad about? I didn't like her then. Now she's here again. Why didn't I like her? It's like, oh, it's because he was dating your friend. No, I don't have a problem with like half the other people that are dating my other friends. What do I do? And then all I could say to her was like, if I was a dick to you, I apologize. Because I didn't think I was being a dick. I am sorry. Because you're probably not nearly as bad of a person as I thought you were. Because in school, you're a bunch of hormonal kids with barely enough supervision to understand what's going on. And you're always fighting for who's going to be in charge, who's on top, who's smarter than the next person, who's going to be in charge when shit goes down. When nobody's going to be in charge ever because none of us are that smart. It's not a big deal. And never be. It's just a bunch of kids seeing who the most confident person is. And it never works out the way that you think it's going to work out. Because it's always just a bunch of fucking kids. I know I'm swearing a lot, and I'm going to keep swearing because it's fun. And I don't want to take the time to try to use whatever vocabulary I do know. Like I said in a previous video, swearing is fun, but it's not always necessary. But I use it a lot because it's fun. Just make sure that think about like everything that's happening. Is she a dick? Why is she a dick? Is a person a dick? Why are they a dick? Can we think of any of the surrounding possibilities? Oh, maybe they have something bad at home. No, I don't give a shit about that. Why are they a dick to him? 90% of the time, it's repressed. It's just a repression system. A guy picked on me and called me gay and then tried to use it like angrily, like it was a bad thing. And he almost pushed me off the side of a railing that was above where our gym was. Yes. And then he tried to make it seem like I was being bad for not being straight. 3 days later, no, it was like 2 weeks later, he came out as gay. And it was the funniest goddamn thing I've ever heard in my life. Because, like, that's instant karma. That is instantaneous. Like, oh, why is he picking on me? Why is he being mean? I'm not gonna say anything. Why are you mad? Why is everything like this going on? Oh my god, I'm so scared. And then, like, 2 weeks later, when I haven't heard from him at all, he just comes out and, like, he doesn't have to deal with anything at all. He's just moving on. Fine. I need to plan out these things more because I'm running trains on a rail that I don't plan on building past a certain point. Kids are trying. They're trying to be the cool kids. They're trying not to be out there and different. They're trying to be likable. They're trying to mold their personality into where they'll fit into whatever their groups they're going on. I know there's a phrase that's like, why be these guys? Don't try to be anybody else because you can be you. Why be someone else? They're already taken. That's a weird phrase, but like I totally get it. It's like, fuck those guys. Well, they don't like me and it makes me sad. Fuck those guys. What are they going to do? Are they going to be mean to you? Be meaner back. I know that's a weird thing to say, like, man, revenge is probably not a good thing to teach people when they're in high school. But, like, it does help out a lot. Most people think, like, well, they're not going to fight back, so I have all the power. If you show that you have more power than them in a way that they won't expect, they'll just immediately drop off. I know it's like, oh, that's me. No, it's fucking easy. What are you going to do about it, pussy? And then they push you, and they push you back. So you have to fucking push them back a little bit harder, and then come up with something that you can think of. Be quick-witted in high school, because if you're not smart enough to come up with all the funny shit right then and there, then it's going to be a rough few months. Then it's going to be a rough few years. It's like, what do you... Like, that's how I always won. That's how I always got out of fights before people could start them. Because I would be a lot easier. I would be a lot better in certain ways than they were, and they weren't expecting it, so they wouldn't fight back. They would start shit with me. I would retort back with something a little bit more clever. They wouldn't expect it, so they would like back down and then just not talk to me and not use me as a target anymore. Or it's a lot easier than you think. I need to get a filter for these things. This is fucking ridiculous. Wait a minute. I can still read everything. Alright, I'm good with this. I'm good with this. I can deal with it. Alright? Trust me. Not every, but once you get over the fact that people are just insecure and they're trying to push their insecurities onto you, like if somebody calls you out for one thing, there's a good chance they are that one thing. What are you gonna do about it, fucking virgin? And then they like, there's a good chance, like, yeah, I'm in high school. There's a good chance I'm a fucking virgin, dude. What am I supposed to do about it? I'm surrounded by nothing but minors. I am a minor. What am I supposed to do? It's not legal to do anything. And we're freshmen. What am I supposed to do there? I'm 14. That's it. What am I supposed to go past that? Call them out with very simple logic. You gonna do something about? Gonna do something about it, little bitch? Huh? You gonna get your dad to go up there? Probably. He can probably deal with this a little bit better than I can. I mean, he's bigger than me. He's also a little bit scarier than me. He's louder than I'm willing to get. And he's willing to protect his son. What am I supposed to do? Should I handle it myself? You're a foot taller than me. I don't think this is going to work out. No. Just, if somebody is, like, they start giving out irrational things that don't have a basis to them, call them out on it. Show them that you don't care about their insults. Well, if somebody calls you gay in a way that makes it feel me, it's one of the very few words I don't like to use. Like, starts with an F, ends with a G, or if you use the long word, ends with an OT. I don't like to use it because, like, people used to call me that, and it would piss me off, but I'd get over it. But I don't want to keep saying it. If they are calling you out on something, that means, even if they're not, if they make it seem like it's bad for you being gay in high school, in the back of your head, just in your mind, always remember, like, there's a good chance they're gay. And if they're not gay, they're not fully straight. Like I said, the guy who called me out, called me gay, and then tried to move on like it was a hurtful thing, he came out 2 weeks later. What am I supposed to do now? What am I supposed to, like, well, yeah, well, so are you, apparently. Do you have anybody in mind? Do you have a boyfriend you want to go home to? What are you doing? Why are you mad at me? And don't try to be the smart kid. You can be smart if you want to, and if you want to get into a good place so you can have a good job, that's a whole thing. But, like, if you know you're going to go far without needing the grades, you don't need them. It's not worth the mental fallout that you're going to get. It's not worth it. Take a few days off. Don't do some of the homework. Because they think, like, oh, you're young, you have energy, you can do this homework. No, you can't. Take a minute. I have to get these 15 papers out. How much does this paper change your grade? I mean, not a lot, but it'll certainly help my grade. What does it matter? It's been the entire year until you build up to the final 3 weeks of class. And he gives you something that's just an average homework grade. It's not a test, it's not a project, it's not going to matter. Take a day off. Don't do it. And if you do it, find a friend who also did it and just copy off their shit. Because they're not trying to teach you to remember stuff, they're trying to teach you to memorize it until you don't need it. Take some time. Respect yourself before you take in everything else. If you're not doing well academically, take a day. Just sit back, think about what's going on, and it'll eventually pass. I was out for a few days because I was sick and they had work in between those. I never did that work and it never had repercussions on me. I wasn't doing well in the class, but the grade never changed. I was at like a C, and then I took a few days off. I was still at a C. You get over it. It's not that bad. If you don't care in high school, not a lot changes. Just take a little bit of time. But as for today, since so much shit was going wrong and I kept stuttering and repeating some of the same shit and I had to switch out my goggles on cam, let's go ahead and call this a semi-successful first day. First day of what I learned in school week. So until next time, I've been the RedSon, and I'm gonna go ahead and start setting. Bye guys.